Hey everybody, welcome to Game Mess Mornings presented by Deku Deals. With me, Jeff Grubb, your host from GiantBomb.com. Thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be talking about that Grand Theft Auto 6 delay and more. It's going to be a good one because we have Jason Fanelli on the show. Jason, how are you doing?
Great day in the morning, good citizens of Giant Bomb. Jason Fanelli speaking here from Philadelphia. Doing okay. Doing okay. Just doing the gaming thing. As a gamer, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm playing some cool stuff. I reviewed a bunch of stuff recently. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show. But as a Philadelphian, my heart's a little heavy. That intro I gave this morning was the famous intro of Pierre Robert, a rock DJ here for over 40 years that we tragically lost last Wednesday at 70 years old. Was supposed to report to his shift. He didn't. They went to check on him. He unfortunately had left us. And if you need a role model for your life, this man was it. And the only proof I need to give you, go back a week or so in social media to the likes of not just the radio station he worked on here, 93.3 WMMR, but Bon Jovi, the Hooters, the Offspring, all these bands who were touched by this man in some way, paying tribute. Last Sunday in Rittenhouse Square in Philadelphia, the masses gathered. They're petitioning to put a statue of him in there. It was his favorite place to be in the city. I interned for Preston and Steve, the popular morning show here in Philly, in 2008, from January to August. I had the opportunity to speak to him twice a week when I was there, because he would be the one they would push off to. And every time you talked to him, he was like he had known you for your whole life. He was just a genuinely good man. And my heart is still heavy 8 days later, just for those brief interactions. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I had the most extensive history with him, but
that doesn't matter.
It sucks, right? It sucks that we're not going to hear him on our radio anymore. But
it's the guys like that make cities cool, right? They give it its character, and it's like, you feel like you have a friend, someone that knows you because they know the same city as you. Yeah, that goes a long way. So,
local sports blogger put it a great way right after it happened. Whether you were the guy slaving away on a roof, blue collar guy in the hot of summer, or the white collar guy slaving away at a desk job that you hated, Pierre Robert was speaking to you through your radio if you had 93.3 on. And I should be so lucky to make half the impact on the people in my life that man made in full. So that's
rest in peace, King. All right, you know what? Let's explain ourselves. Let's get into the show. We're Giant Bomb, video game doofuses, independent games media. You can support us, keep us doing our thing by going to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. Gets you ad-free versions of the shows, gets you some extra goodies. We got a lot of stuff coming your way now, especially after that bombathon. But really, what it's going to get you is the assurance that you have someone out there that likes games the way you do and is ready to talk about games the way you want to hear. And we're going to keep doing that thanks to all of the excellent support that we have already received. Everyone who comes through for us, we notice and we appreciate it, and it means the world. And if you want to join those ranks, it's giantbomb.com/join. As far as this show goes, most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, will help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you are watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game Mess Mornings, or find the RSS feed on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. All right, we have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with Grand Theft Auto 6 delayed again by 6 months. This is from Michael McWhirter at Polygon. Rockstar Games has delayed Grand Theft Auto 6 for the second time, previously scheduled for a May 2026 release. The studio's highly anticipated open-world crime epic is now scheduled to arrive on November 19th of 2026, Rockstar Games has announced. Rockstar announced the latest GTA 6 delay on Thursday, just ahead of publisher Take-Two Interactive's earnings, noting that an additional 6 months of development time will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. Here's the studio's statement. GTA 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level of polish you have come to expect and deserve. We want to thank you again for your patience and support. While the wait is a little longer, we are incredibly excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Leonida and a return to modern de Vice City. Leonida? I don't know. Jason, yeah, there's more to this, and of course, there's the other side. We'll get into the union busting here in a moment. We've kind of been covering that this week. It continues to develop. As far as the delay goes, very few people I feel like are walking around going like, I can't believe they delayed it a second time. Once the first delay happened, and then everyone's like, okay, here we go. Also, like this one's like barely even a real delay in my head because they're delaying it to the same fiscal year. They are delaying it to the holidays. It's like, yeah, if there was like one measly reason to push this game back, everything else was like, oh, maybe it just makes sense to put this out in November. Why don't we just do that? It's kind of obvious that we were going to end up here eventually. But boy, yeah, they want to get this game perfect. They talk about that as well. They have high expectations. I think Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games, was out there talking about the 95 Metacritic scores that these games have previously received and wanting to make sure that they hit that. So they do kind of have to make sure that this thing has an immaculate launch, right? So they kind of can't come out of the gate fizzling.
Once upon a console gaming, players around the world were aiming for the 26th of May to bring them Rockstar's latest lore. Alas did and earning calls deliver news that caused them all to shiver. Both Strauss Zelnick, 6 months more.
Bars, let's go.
And the people who are not in the know, the players, the people who want the game are pissed. And the people who follow the industry and who kind of have their thumb on the scale or their thumb on the pulse or finger on the pulse were like, it was never coming out in May anyway, guys. Sorry. It just was not happening. I am not surprised by this in the least. And to be completely frank, I don't know that I'm confident in November either. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into the beginning of...
That would still be the current fiscal year
2027.
Which,
yeah, if it moves out of fiscal year, then I'm like, oh shit, something's wrong. But if it's if it's any time before March 31st, it would be fine with me. Now, I believe Grand Theft Auto 5's PS4, Xbox One iteration was November of whatever year that was. The game itself was September of 2013. So they have launched in this window before. They are familiar with it, but Grand Theft Auto 4 was in March or April, I think, as well. I don't think it'll go that far in. If it does get delayed again, I'd put it in January of 2027, perhaps, maybe February. But I am not surprised by this. I think it makes a lot more sense in the holiday season. I think at first Sony would have been miffed, right? Sony thinking, well, this is we're kind of counting on this to be our late cycle console seller, and you keep delaying this thing. What the hell is going on here? But then after they sat back and thought about it, they're like, oh, this is a holiday push, potentially the last holiday of the PlayStation 5, all rumors considered. They want the new console out in 2027, perhaps 2028. So we may have ourselves another Grand Theft Auto 5 situation where it comes out for the current console and then they publish it again for a dozen years on the consoles that it comes out on. It'll be the new, you can play Grand Theft Auto 6 on your fridge. Like, it'll be the new Doom joke. And that's just what they're going to do with Grand Theft Auto. They're going to release a new story. The Grand Theft Auto Online that comes with it is going to keep them fat. And that's it. That's what they're going to do, and that's their strategy.
I think that's I think that's all right. I think that's exactly why November is sort of why they feel good about that, because that is about the latest they can release it to nail everything that they want to nail that you laid out. So a November release holiday, that's great. They could release this game at any point, but releasing it right before the holidays, making it the game, that'll get a lot of attention. But what it really does is the thing that you mentioned. They can release it for these consoles this November, that being November 2026. And then the following year, if either of the new consoles are ready to go, they will release it for that. That's exactly what happened with Grand Theft Auto 5. And then a year after that, it went to PC. They did similar stuff with Red Dead Redemption 2, where it's like 1 year it was on the consoles, the next year it was on PC. Although we'll talk about why that's still weird that it's not necessarily been updated for the newer consoles. Either way, though, it's I think they know this. Rockstar loves this strategy. Take-Two loves this strategy. So they are going to try to maneuver everything as best they can to do this again. So yeah, I expect them to really try to make this November release. But if it comes down to it, getting the launch right is going to be more important. And they could always just release it in March or whatever, and then just have the new console version ready to go later that year. That could also easily happen. And it wouldn't even have to be there at launch, right? It could be something that comes a year into the life of a new console. People would still show up for it. Let's talk about the other side of this, because let's kind of just bring everything together. An alleged Rockstar employee claims morale has cratered due to apparent union-busting efforts. We're throwing out there that one of the top Grand Theft Auto forums, GTA forums, the mods there tried to verify the identity of this person and said, yeah, we believe that this is a person who actually works at Rockstar, but, you know, pinch of salt. Allegations of union busting at Rockstar. A longtime Rockstar employee anonymously claims the company fired over 34 staff members, 31 in the UK, 3 in Canada, for union-related activities. Firings were abrupt. Employees were summoned by HR under friendly pretenses, then handed termination letters citing gross misconduct over Discord posts. No evidence was provided, and union representation was denied, which would allegedly violate UK employment law. As always with posts like this, we're not usually hearing from lawyers. We're hearing from people who are like, I'm pretty sure this is the way it works. And that's kind of what's getting repeated here. Some affected employees were on sick leave or paternity leave, and the firings may jeopardize their visas. So they might come back to work, find out they don't have a job, don't have a visa, might have to leave. All fired employees were union members, many on organizing committees. The union had just reached over 200 members, or about 200 members, which crosses a threshold for formal recognition and collective bargaining. The Discord group in question was private and focused on working conditions, not leaks. And so, as we've been covering this week, Rockstar has been like, the gross misconduct is they were leaking private developer information that is under NDA. And all these 30 or 40 people are responsible for this. So we're firing them for that. And the fact that it's like, oh, actually, they were sharing that information. Maybe they were sharing it, but they were doing it in a Discord about unionizing. And it was all about workplace matters and not necessarily the game that they were working on. It's like, okay, this continues to sound like union busting. Apparently, due to this, employees were like outside, beginning to protest Rockstar. And this employee here, this alleged employee, says morale at Rockstar is reportedly at rock bottom, with remaining staff fearful and demoralized. And the union is pursuing legal action and campaigning for reinstatement. And in the meantime, it does feel like this is going to come to some sort of legal a legal battle. Although I predict that Rockstar will almost certainly try to settle so that they don't have to explain themselves actually in a courtroom, because that's going to look real rough. So we'll see. Now everyone's saying, hey, is this why the game's getting delayed? No, I think the reason we found out about the delay is because of this.
Yes.
I think that was
an attempt to sweep.
You Google Grand Theft Auto, what's going to come up now? Of course, it's going to be the delay. If you Googled Grand Theft Auto yesterday, it would have been the union busting. And it feels like PR management in a really sick way. Hey, I believe the workers here, based on kind of the way that this has been presented, and Rockstar kind of being like, yeah, look, they were all union members, but that's not why we're firing them. And it's like, to me, it seems like it definitely is.
The fact that you even have to quantify that kind of belies your lie. But let me just equivocally say, clearly, in my trademark manner, this fucking sucks. This absolutely sucks for everyone involved. And I hope that they get reinstated as soon as possible, if they even want to be at this point, right? But furthermore, the thing I think about in this is how fucking stupid do they think we are? That we don't have the ability to put pieces together or research these things or figure out what it is they're actually doing. Do these like corpo cyberpunk 2077 inspired idiots really think that we just don't have the mental capacity to put this stuff together? Like,
I think it's worse than that. I think it's like they know that we can, and they don't care, because lying has consistently worked for everyone in the last forever, but like especially these days. It's like, you're lying. It's like, how dare you call me a liar? No, I mean that I fired these people for posting stuff in Discord. That's offensive to me. Like, they could just
Right.
be the most bad faith actors. And that's so the cynical side of me is like, oh yeah, that's what's happening. This is so much worse because of that. They could just they don't even try to do it well anymore. They know they're going to get away with it.
That feigned
Yes.
righteous indignation that they
Yep.
always put on. We know we love our employees. We would never do something like that. They stepped out of their boundaries and we had to act accordingly. Fuck off. We know why you did this. They must have had some sort of case building for whether it's a next contract negotiation or something that spooked Rockstar.
That's what the story's saying, is that they just recently passed a threshold that would have bound a Rockstar to a collective bargaining agreement, or at least force them to go have those conversations. And a collective bargaining agreement these days is going to be pretty aggressive, especially before the big game comes out. Like, if they have to have those conversations before Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's like they can really establish, hey, this thing's going to be massive, and we want to like get our long-term residuals attached to this. It's like that is a conversation these companies don't even want to entertain. Clearly, they would rather allegedly violate the law than go in there and give these employees long-term, compensation for the work that they've done. So, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, you continue.
My question is, so this Discord that had all these offensive things that they were leaking or what have you, were these people the only members of that Discord, and does that Discord still exist? Because if either of those questions are no, and especially if both of them are no, then why were just these 34 fired and not the rest of the people in that group? They were privy to potential leaks as well. So unless you shut this thing down, then you have even less of a leg to stand on. I hope that the union comes through and gets these people what they deserve, whether it be their jobs back if they want them, or some sort of severance package worthy of their standing, or whatever that would be, because frankly, this sucks. It's just a shitty situation. One more feather in the cap of late stage capitalism, the thing that we love so dear. And it's nothing more I can really say about it.
And it's never going to be enough for these corporations, this company. They grow, and then that becomes the new baseline expectation that they are judged against. So they have to keep growing, and that's a very frightful thing to have to deal with. So the people that like find themselves in charge of some of these companies being like, oh, look, all this compensation I'm getting, I'm rich, but all this constant pressure to grow, I have to become ruthless to continue to protect my position. It turns people into monsters, and we know it'll never be enough, because we're like the next story here. Red Dead Redemption 2 is now the 4th best-selling game of all time. Other games on that list, Grand Theft Auto 5, they are responsible for making the most money in video games. And it's not enough for them to go, okay, well, now how can we share this with the people who made it possible? It's like, oh my God, they might want to share this. The people who made this possible might want to share this, get in there and wreck their ability to collectively bargain for that state. And it's it's a bad look. So Red Dead Redemption 2 was released in 2018. They still have not put out a PS5 or Xbox Series S and X native version or a Switch 2 version. But those seem like they might be coming. But in the meantime, it's selling like crazy still. It sold something like 2 million more copies in the last quarter. And it has surpassed the combined sales of Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on between the Wii U and Switch versions, which is at 78.02 million copies sold. So this one I think is at, it looks like it's going to surpass Wii Sports, which is the number 3 soon. That's at 82.9 million copies sold. Okay, yeah. So I think that the total right now for Red Dead Redemption 2 is 79 million. These games, they make games that just continue to sell forever. And if you're someone who did that work and did make that possible, and you're looking at like who's that money going to? It's like, oh, a couple of people at the top, the investors, and they had nothing to do. Yes, and they had nothing to do with this. Why wouldn't you get residuals? I know that's going to be a frightening word to a lot of these people that run these companies. It's either going to happen eventually, or I think these companies eventually come crumbling down because they will be replaced by employee-owned developers or developers that come up from the bottom. And obviously, Rockstar's under no threat of that in the meantime. But one slip up and even a company like that could be facing a situation where it's like, can we make this work anymore? And we don't know. There's no guarantee Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out and be the game it needs to be. It could miss. They are missing a lot of key figures who made the previous games possible. So it's a precarious position, and sort of the only way you can ensure your future is to ensure that the people who made it possible continue to want to work there, and instead you are firing them for trying to exercise their power as the labor that makes the games possible.
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing concept that this company is going to have 2 of the 3 best-selling games of all time by the summer, and they feel that they have to take these initiatives to punish the people who made the games that put them there in the first place. I hate it, honestly. As someone who has been dealing, we've been reading a lot of these stories, a lot of these, layoffs and union busting and firings and stuff like that. And eventually, yeah, it's going to come to a head. It's either going to be that these companies just crumble because of you're leaving so much money at the top, nobody's going to want to work for you at the bottom, and you need the people at the bottom to keep these games afloat. Like if the whole GTA Online team just shut the servers off and walked out, that loss in sales for that one day or those couple of hours, whatever it would be enough, I think, to make them go, oh shit, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if that, again, this goes back to how stupid do they think we are, or how much do they actually care, which is none. They're walking a tightrope. They're walking a tightrope, and eventually people are just going to be fed up. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know how long into the future we're going to need, but eventually that bubble's going to burst, and people are going to walk out. People are going to find other places. The employee-owned developer, I think that's great too. You would know a thing or two about going independent, so you could probably speak to that. And
it's worth it, but a lot of work.
I look forward to that future, whatever it looks like. Either these people come around and these franchises can continue to thrive while also rewarding the people that make them, or we have new studios that rise from their ashes, employee-owned, employee-backed, and we get good games from those idea makers as well. Either way, this corporate shit sucks. It just sucks.
Take-Two had some other tidbits. Here's one that we'll just put out there because I know people are always asking about this one. Bioshock 4 isn't dead and is still coming. Take-Two promises. That's from Darren Bonthus at GameSpot. The next Bioshock game has been in development for the better part of a decade. That's right, man. It was like 2012 for Infinite. But 2K Games' parent company Take-Two Interactive has confirmed that there are no plans currently to cancel it. That's, weird way to be like,
what endorsement?
Yes, we don't have plans to cancel it yet. In a new interview, CEO Strauss Zelnick addressed the lengthy development cycle, promising that Bioshock will eventually be released. It's going to come out. That I could say hand on heart without question, Zelnick said to IGN. The CEO added that with longer development cycles for AAA games, it had become more challenging to build a game that can stand out from the pack as part of its quality over quantity mindset. He continued, the strategy of this company has always been to make the best entertainment, not necessarily the most entertainment. Of course, sometimes we've fallen short, but frankly, a precious few times. Zelnick boasted, adding that Take-Two is aiming to release exceptional games. Yeah, I mean, listen, trying to make your games as good as possible before releasing them seems completely valid to me. And at the same time, I still am curious about the reasons Bioshock 4 was delayed in the first place. They said it was, or we got reporting that like some story didn't meet, the narrative didn't meet a quality check. It's like, is that it, or is the gameplay bad? I don't know. But yeah, Bioshock 4. Is the world still like going to be receptive to this game, or is this one that could just kind of come and go and be like a Mirror's Edge catalyst sort of thing? Like we've been asking for it, and this one can't quite live up to its expectations and gets forgotten immediately.
I think the smartest thing they can do with this is not call it Bioshock 4.
Yeah.
You just change the name to something unrelated. You don't even mention, like, we'll know that it's the Bioshock successor because it's Cloud Chamber. We'll be able to figure that out. But don't call it that. See if you can find a way to separate it from that lore and make it something brand new. You know what I mean? Because I think public opinion on Bioshock Infinite has soured because of the overtones of the story, let's call them, in some regards. So I don't know that, especially if it's going to be linked to that story, I don't know that you really want to be associated with it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the narrative check fail was the maintenance of those overtones, and someone realized, oh shit, we got to get rid of these, right?
Yeah, possibly.
I hate to say this because Bioshock was a monumental franchise in the Xbox 360 era. I don't know that this is necessary anymore. I don't know. I mean, I think
it has a long way to go to prove itself, I think.
It's taken too long. It's taken too long. Now, the first trailer could come out at some event, and we're all like, all right, maybe I'll give it a chance, or I'll get really excited about it again. As someone points out in chat, Bioshock is old enough to vote, which is interesting. I don't know. And what do you do now? Do you target 2027, the 20th anniversary of the first Bioshock, and take even longer? Like, is that your target now? And then if it is 2027, how far from Grand Theft Auto, assuming that comes out in November, are you going to release it to not have Grand Theft Auto cannibalize it? So you have that obstacle. There are too many hurdles. You're going to trip. I don't know. I don't see this as necessary. Now, also, too, it could fall into a Mafia of the Old Country situation where it's got the name on it. It's different. It comes out, and that's beginning to develop a bit of a cult, not a cult following, but like
I think that's fair.
There's a groundswell of it. It's not going to, take all the game awards, all the Game of the Year awards, but people seem to really enjoy it. The ones that have stuck to it, most of them are Italian. Matt Piscatella and Giovanni Colantonio specifically.
Weird.
But maybe it has to do with I haven't played it yet. You would think, but I haven't played it yet. So. Yeah, maybe it falls into that situation where the people who give it a shot are really, really into it, and the rest of us are just kind of like meh.
Yep.
I don't
know. I think that for Bioshock, a lot of it will come down to navigating what you said about like the legacy of Infinite, and a lot of the that legacy at this point is the criticism. I think that's louder than anything from the story, and so my expectation was going to be like they would overcompensate for that and like really go hard on no, you know what, you're right. Actually, it's the fascist government and not the underclass fighting for equality that are the bad guys here. And then maybe they would go hard on that to the point where it's like, oh, this looks like an explicit criticism of Donald Trump and the fascist policies of the United States currently. And a big corporation might want to pussyfoot around that a little bit and be like, we're not sure if we want to dive into that. So maybe let's change up the story so I don't get yelled at when I go to a swanky dinner in DC. My name's Strauss Zelnick.
Maybe that's why they delayed Grand Theft Auto to be 2 weeks after the midterms. By then, it could be okay to talk shit.
Yeah, that's not a bad point. You're right. At that point, that game might really come in and be like, see, everyone agrees with us.
Yay.
We'll see. I don't know. The writing of Grand Theft Auto, its ability to like be incisive in a moment feels like it's going to be a tough hurdle for it to climb. It's always very broad. Okay. Enough Take Two stuff. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got plenty more of these headlines to get through. We'll do that after this. If you want to skip out on these ads, premium version of the video show, premium version of the audio show, you can find these by going to giantbomb.com/join. In the meantime, we'll be right back. Jan, you taught me to overcome my fear of sharp objects. I want to teach you how to overcome your fear of saving money.
No, I don't wanna. I will only ever pay the manufactured suggested retail price.
Stop. You don't have to live this way because now there's Deku Deals.
The double D?
That's right. Deku Deals is the best way to find deals on any major gaming platform or store.
I don't want no bunk out-of-date coupon code, Grubb.
It's nothing like that. Deku Deals has both the hottest and the freshest deals updated constantly. It's also just added Steam support with a super simple page to find bundles for Steam code.
Ooh, I just found the Mist and Riven Complete collection for $8 on Humble using Deku Deals right now.
I also use Deku Deals to build and add and share wish list. You can even use it to keep track of your collection.
You know what? I think we should all build some lists and host them on DekuDeals.com/giantbomb.
And if listeners go to DekuDeals.com/giantbomb, they can vote to make us play a game on the November 21st episode of Unprofessional Fridays.
Learn more at DekuDeals.com/giantbomb.
All right, Game Mess Mornings, Jeff Grubb, Jason Fanelli. We are going to get back into it. While we were doing the show, though, so it's not on the rundown, let's just hit it real quick. It is in 7 day, November 7th. That means it's time to get out your Mass Effect trees and your Shepherd cardboard cutouts and hug them dearly
pal.
and yeah, pat them on the head. There we go. And then they have a blog post, because that's how you celebrate in 7 Day, where they write, like you, we've heard the rumors lately. You've made it clear you care deeply about what's next. So let's start by setting the record straight. The next Mass Effect game is in development, and EA and BioWare remain committed to telling more stories in this universe. The truth is, the last few years have been incredibly busy, an incredibly busy time at BioWare, but currently the team is heads down and focused exclusively on Mass Effect. We have a lot of universe to cover, lots of features to build, and lots of romances to figure out. We're excited by what we're building, and we promise you, when we're ready, it'll be a lot of fun to show. Until then, thank you for your patience, because you all are thirsty for news, and I see you looking for secret meaning in my tweets. Okay, sometimes they do have secret meaning. Can't do that, bud. Now they're going to go crazy for everything you tweet.
Oh, here come the ARG people.
Yep.
That's not derogatory. I'm one of those people.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we're all deep inside us. We all have ARG people. Beyond the next game, which is Beyond written with a weird O or something here. Maybe they're already teasing something. Beyond the next
Pepe
game.
Sylvia.
Is it Mass Effect 4 Beyond?
Wait a minute, you're right. A bunch of these letters are italicized. Get on it, people.
All right, everyone get to work. Beyond the next game, there's more to get excited. Yeah, the G's italicized as well to get excited about. I haven't talked about it much, but you might have heard a little something about a TV series. We've been partnering closely with Amazon on it, and we're really excited with what the talented team over there is coming up with. Hey, that Fallout show is good.
Yes,
I can imagine Amazon knowing how to do right by Mass Effect. Of course, it's like different production teams and all that stuff, but whatever. Okay, yeah, Mass Effect in the works. I mean, I think that game was in a position where it's like, God, even though Dragon Age didn't hit, we still believe in Mass Effect, but this is absolutely BioWare's last chance, right, Jason?
Yes, it has to be. I mean, Dragon Age not performing to expectations. Now, you can write a whole article about whether those expectations were, smart or logical, but right. Yes, this has to be the one. If this doesn't hit, then they are screwed. I think they become a support studio for DICE at Battlefield or whatever, or something else. Yeah, I mean, if they don't, if this man, and probably why they're being so quiet about it, and they're taking their time with it, because they have to know that if this one doesn't go, that it's over for them, which would be tragic for many, many reasons. But yeah, this has to be their swan song. Quick aside to the people in the chat who are saying things like, the message says drink more Ovaltine, or Christian is definitely an ARG person. That's a great joke. That one's great. But yeah, so I am a huge fan of the original Mass Effect trilogy. It was one of the best, like one of my premier titles from that era. I have the Legendary Collection. Never played Andromeda. Still, that is a blip on my backlog. That's just at the time I didn't have time and I haven't been able to get back to it. But I need this game to be good. Like, I need that franchise to be back. I still go back once in a while and dip into it. And the soundtrack to those games is still on regular play since the day I played it. Vigil, the main menu song from the first game, Vigil, is some of the best meditation music you could ever use. If you just need to sit and chill. It's only a minute and a half long on Spotify. You just sit and chill out to it, and then you're refreshed and you can go about your day. I need all of that back. I need that mood back. I need the universe back. I need it back. Take your time. I'll be frustrated by it. I'll be upset about it, but take your time. I need BioWare to exist, A, for Mass Effect, and B, to keep my faint hopes for a Jade Empire follow-up alive at some point, but mostly for Mass Effect at this point.
So someone in chat said that the secret letters, when you put them together, spells URL Krogan. So I went to Krogan.com, and it is a website, and there's Krogan.com/lander, but it's not loading anything for me. So I don't know. Maybe it's Bioware.com/Krogan. I'll let chat investigate. Y'all get back to me and let me know. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, you're right. It says you're Mr. Gay. You're right, sir. That's man. Huh. I wonder what that means. I wonder who that's
funny.
for.
Bioware.com/Krogan is currently spinning for me, so I wonder if that loads up while we're here. I will let you know.
Okay, so yeah, we'll see what's going on there. But I still have like faith in the people at BioWare.
Me too. Yeah.
I had it for Dragon Age, and it sounds like I personally, as someone who's not a huge Dragon Age guy, would have graded that game on a curve, just knowing its history of how it was falling apart, and then they were able to kind of bring something together that is respectable to the point where it's like no one's like, this game it's not Andromeda. It just doesn't hit quite as hard. We're not quite into the writing. It's like the fact that you're talking about those issues and then maybe seeing some seams here or there should actually be praised because they were able to really bring that thing together. Now, of course, no one wants to hear that when they're spending their money. And so don't go buy that game. Don't go play it if you're not into it. That's fine. But my hope would be that they were going into this Mass Effect game, Mass Effect 5, really, with a clear vision. And from years ago, we know that they were considering some live action stuff, or not live service stuff. And now they are going to this Mass Effect game with an idea of like, no, this is going to be like a traditional Mass Effect game, and it's going to be Unreal Engine. And I hope that just sort of unshackles them and they're able to really make it all work. So we'll see. And if they can, like I said, I have faith that the people at the studio now can make a really, really respectable game. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so we moved off of Take-Two news. We got the N7-day stuff out of the way. So let's go here. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra follows GTA 6 with delay announcement. This is from Tay Garcia at DualShockers. It seems that the delay saga this week isn't over yet, since here comes another major title taking a step back after GTA 6's. And this time it is the highly anticipated Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. Is it highly anticipated? I just still don't know if anyone knows what this game is. Skydance.
Them?
Huh?
Who called it that? Marvel, Skydance themselves?
Maybe. They probably did. According to an official statement shared on Skydance Games' social media, the developers explained that their goal is to deliver an unforgettable premium game that honors its characters and world, and a bunch of other blah, blah, blah. If this is a game they probably knew was going to be delayed. They saw GTA 6 announced it, like, let's go get in the wake of that, because people will just be paying attention to GTA 6 and be less annoying about our game. Skydance, that's a Larry Ellison outfit. Oracle, one of his son started that. They're buying up Paramount and everything else. They haven't done a lot of like big games. So again, it's like, okay, you have Amy Hennig over there. Is she just making Uncharted, but with World War II, Captain America, and Black Panther? It's hard to envision for me. And they have not really shown off much other than at that Epic. I think Epic had like a State of Unreal, and there was a teaser for the game in there. And there it did look impressive, but I still don't think we knew how it's going to play. So how are you feeling about this delay? What are your expectations for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra?
My live reaction to the news that this game was delayed. Oh yeah, that game exists.
Yeah.
That was it. I completely forgot about it. And Skydance, most of their background so far in video games is VR related.
Yeah, they did some like Walking Dead VR stuff. Yeah,
they did Walking Dead. They did Behemoth last year, right at the tail end of last year, was a very highly touted VR game that did not perform well. And then the first one they ever made was Archangel, which I vaguely remember from E3 2017. But I don't know. I mean, the fact that they thought that they could just push this out with the GTA stuff and be like, no, don't pay attention to us. Don't pay attention to us. That kind of gives the whole game away. I don't know how confident they are either, but they think maybe the longer that people like me forget this exists, the more time they think they have to develop it. Maybe they're trying to shoot for a 2043 release to coincide 100 years after the date in their title. I don't know. But I don't know. I haven't seen enough about this to comment or more cynically care at the moment. There's just too much going on to focus on this. And if you're going to keep delaying it indefinitely, you're not giving me any reason to want to research it, to want to get excited about it. So give me something concrete, give me something a little more to sink my teeth into. And then maybe I'll start to worry about if it gets delayed too much, or be excited about its launch, or wonder what the game is about.
Yep. We don't have a new release date. I think that's maybe one of the more notable things about this is it had some sort of window of early 2026 here in like this notice that they posted on social media. They say we've made the decision to shift our release window beyond early 2026. They do not provide a new release window, so this is an indefinite delay, as in it's not been defined.
Right.
Now, to me, this one feels maybe a little bit more indefinite than I think it was Mina the Hollower, right? That one got an indefinite delay. It's like, we're not going to define the new release date. We'll tell you when we're a little bit closer, when we pass cert and stuff like that. That one's like, oh, okay. They're just going to tell us 2 weeks out, like a lot of other indie games have. This game's not in that situation. There's a chance we never hear from this game again, right?
Yeah, there's always a chance you never hear. I mean, we didn't even know we weren't hearing about it until this delay happened.
Yeah.
Right? At least I didn't. So, and early 2026, that could mean, well, I hope they weren't going for holiday 2026, because that just got pretty fucked up, right?
Yep.
If they were shooting for September, October of 2026, not anymore. At least I hope not. Unless they think they can get far enough ahead of it, maybe late summer. This is the kind of game that maybe shows up at a Summer Game Fest. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe a Gamescom for a 2027 launch down the pipeline. I don't think they're in any rush to launch it, and I don't think we're in any rush to receive it. No. So it's just going to kind of exist in the ether until it doesn't.
And I wonder if it's like they saw Wolverine and they were like, oh, our game is going to look bad compared to that, so let's give it a little bit more love. And it's like, it's not like they don't have the money. It's Larry Ellison's kids. Larry Ellison, I guess, now back to being the second richest person in the world after the $1 trillion pay package for fucknuts over there. But
yeah,
hey, what can you say? All right. Square Enix announces, God, it's just bad news. Square Enix announces more layoffs as part of U.S. and Europe restructuring. This is from Andy Robinson at VGC. Square Enix announced layoffs across nearly all areas of its Western businesses in an all-hands meeting on Thursday. VGC understands in a video call to staff outside of its home country of Japan, including those based in Europe and America. Square Enix president Takashi Kiryu said that the company was implementing overseas structural reform to create a more lean and agile business abroad. Square Enix will be implementing a fundamental restructuring of this is a quote again, of the overseas publishing organization, Kiryu said. Details of the restructure will be shared at a later date. Staff were told, however, it confirmed roles would be cut, employees would be left, or employees left would be required to spend more time working in the office. So essentially, it's like about 140 people across Europe and the United States or North America. And it's people in IT, marketing, publishing, sales, QA, business planning, and more. And before we kind of get into, okay, they're consolidating their business side of things back in Japan. They probably used to do stuff mostly in Japan, and then they grew globally. And now they're seeing like, that's not worth it. We want to save money. I think they said something like this is going to save them about 3 billion yen. Yes, that's about $19.6 billion or $1 million, I should say, not $1 billion. But this also came in conjunction with, like, people were like reading the headlines right on VGC, and they read this story, and then a couple stories later, or maybe earlier, it was Square Enix.
It was first.
Yes, yeah. So earlier in the day, just like minutes before, really, in a lot of ways. Square Enix wants to have most of their QA. I think it's something like 70% of their QA done by generative AI within,
and debugging.
Yeah, for debugging by 2027. Now, it's easy to be like, these are part of the same idea. Like, save money, cut jobs, give more jobs to AI. And the end goal there to save money for Square Enix. But apparently, it's like this AI push for debugging is in the research phase, and they have not implemented it yet. They plan to do it, though, pretty soon. And this is one, Jason, I fully expect AI to be deeply integrated into the QA teams going forward.
Yeah, and they'll get what they pay for. Like, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Sephiroth coming down to me and saying he's going to bring me das Pier, because they don't have any editors or whatever.
This is why. This is specifically though why I expected to be in QA, because they already get what they pay for. They already have tried to cut costs in QA. They try to do the bare minimum, like, just give us the known shippables, and if some of our games come out as buggy messes, and this is not just Square Enix. This is across the industry.
Yeah,
this is like the first place they try to skip on and make some money back by cutting jobs in QA. So it's like they're already doing a shitty job. They're already not investing in it. What's doing a shitty job with AI now? Like, what's the difference at a certain point? They won't see one.
Yeah, they won't see one, but when the games start to come out buggy as hell and people are like, why can't games come out and just work? They're going to have to go back to human QA testers. This, not to get too much on the side, but this AI bubble is going to pop, right? Like like the guy who shorted the housing crisis, the housing market in 2008, put $1 billion bet on the AI bubble popping soon. That has to be a little worrisome, don't you think?
I mean, worse than that, OpenAI, fucking what's his name, Sam
Altman.
is out. Yes, out there being like, "Hey, government, can you guarantee the investments into OpenAI?" Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
No, but not if you don't do what you say you're going to do.
What are you talking about?
Con artist. But anyway, yeah, this sucks. To get both of these on a 1-2 punch of stories from Square Enix like this really sucks. There are people that I worked with at Square Enix in their like PR department, marketing department, that I still don't know if they still have a job. The fellow that I met with at a recent convention for something I'm still under embargo for, I don't know if he still has a job.
Yeah, I've got some friends that like the longtime listeners and people I've become very cordial with at Square Enix, and it's like, oh man, that you had some cool people working there. I hope they're all still employed, knowing that very well many of them probably aren't at this point.
Which is such a bummer, right? And these are people that you would see at conventions, at Summer Games Fest, what have you, and you'd reacquaint yourself, talk about what they got going on, and now you don't know if you're ever going to see them. But definitely not in that capacity, in any capacity at all, because these people that we're laying off, these people that we're getting rid of, statistically are not coming back. They're not finding jobs in this industry. They're going elsewhere. So it's sad. It's obnoxious. It's a very depressing Friday. I'm seeing. We
either get Dregs Day or we get the worst fucking news of the year. Those are our options on
Friday. Be normal. But yeah, my heart goes out to everyone involved in layoffs. I hope that Square Enix decides that the AI QA isn't QAI, let's call it to be fun, isn't worth it, and then they get the human QA testers in there. I would much rather be discussing stories about QA testers, not being paid enough, but they're humans, than AI QA, because at least humans have work.
Yep.
You could fight for their wages. You could fight for you can get them unionized and stuff like that. You can't do that with QA. You can't do that with AI.
That just hits my cynicism so hard. It's like they are already undervalued.
Right.
So them being like, well, compared to AI, we don't value one, and we know the other one is not worth a lot because we don't have to pay a lot for AI. So we'll just do that. They're gonna end up trying it, and I agree that we'll notice. I don't think these companies will acknowledge that is a problem because it saves them too much money. They're like, well, what do you expect us to do? Hire people? And it's like, you used to. That they will just whistle their way back to the bank, and it's going to be very frustrating. Nintendo claims it won't hike Switch 2's prices, but there is, of course, a caveat there. This is from Chris Littlechild at DualShockers. Let's see. While we are aware that the cost of various materials are rising, we also anticipate some areas where cost reduction may be achieved for Nintendo Switch 2 through ongoing mass production efforts. That's according to Shuntaro Furukawa. He is basically saying, yes, some of the things that we need to put into the Switch 2 are seeing price increases and are hitting us. However, we are also seeing price reductions on other things. So we're hoping to maintain that equilibrium, and we won't have to raise the price. And we have no plans to raise the price now. He then goes on to say, though, that if tariffs were to change, if the global economic situation were to shift in some massive way, they would reconsider this. So it's not a promise. It's just a statement of we're not going to raise it now, but we still might later, and you'll know why when it happens. Which at a certain point, it's like fair. Like if it really is going to follow that, like if a tariffs happen and be like, well, they're gonna raise the price because of that, and then they do. Okay, it has felt a little arbitrary over the last generation, though, Jason. Like, oh, these prices just keep going up no matter what. Like, prices were going up before we got to the tariff stuff. So it's, I'm still a little frightened. I get a lot of people are making moves to get the systems now because they also believe, everyone sort of has a built-in belief now that prices will continue to go up.
Yeah, I do too. I do appreciate how diplomatic he's being here, right? Like, you kind of have to toe the line with we're keeping it where it is. We have no plans. Of course you have no plans. The market right now is allowing you to not have those plans, but you're going to have to adjust. And if the Supreme Court doesn't come through and the tariffs don't get struck down, then we're going to see a price increase. If people come to their senses and the tariffs go away, would we see a price decrease? I don't know about that. I don't know that that's something that would be in the cards, at least not in year
very
one.
Unlikely. Yep.
Right. So and they still sit in a place where they are the cheapest option, right? They don't have to go anywhere, and they even have some wiggle room, I believe. So I don't think that. I think being diplomatic was the right course of action here, but I also would get if they did need to bump up $50 or something like that. Like if they go to $1,000, like what are you doing? But
Chad is like pointing out the reason why we might still see a price increase. RAM prices have gone through the roof. We talked about this on a story that might have been Monday. I can't remember when it was, but like Micron and SK Hynix are all these companies are like, hey, there's a ton of demand, and it's mostly coming from AI for high bandwidth memory, which is not the same stuff that you put into your home computer, but that's where we're putting our focus because AI is just outbidding the common consumer by an order of magnitude. So we're not putting any effort to making more DDR memory, double data rate memory, because we are like. That's making us some money, but it's not making us all the money. And while there's demand going up there, it's not commensurate with what we're seeing from AI. So the expectation is it's going up in price, DDR memory. It's going to be even worse in 2026. And that's going to just hit everybody. People in chat are saying they were speccing out 32 gigabytes of memory a month or so ago, and it was about $100, and now it's $250 for that same module. It's going to be sick here real soon. All right.
Yeah.
Last story. Kill Bill's Pussy Wagon. Oh, wait. Kill Bill's Wagon coming to Fortnite. New teaser reveals. This is from Michael McWhorter at Polygon.
Here's where we turn it around.
Fortnite's, yeah, exactly. In strong. Fortnite's mysterious upcoming collaboration that involves director Quentin Tarantino will include, at the very least, the addition of Kill Bill's Wagon to the Battle Royale game. A teaser for that unusual crossover was included as part of a trailer for Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, the upcoming re-release of Tarantino's two-part martial arts epic, a revenge epic. It combines it into one movie, I guess. Epic and Tarantino's teaser for the Kill Bill Fortnite crossover lasts just a single frame in the Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair trailer, but it clearly hints at the iconic vehicle's arrival in the game. They will make it kid-friendly. Instead of saying wagon, there's just going to be a picture of a cat's face, the cat from Fortnite, and then it says Wagon. Yes, Meowsles. Thank you. Yes. In fact, that's the license plate. Instead of saying Wagon, says Meow Wagon. So there you go. I don't know, something about this one. It's like, I'll tell you what, if they didn't just have K-pop Demon Hunter, I would be sitting here be going, I think Fortnite's a little cooked. They are just specifically going after a very small subset of older gamers who still have money. And it's like, well, no, of course they can do anything. They did K-pop Demon Hunters in a matter of months, and they captured that excitement just about better than anyone has. So it's like they're so far away from being cooked. But something about like getting more and more narrow with their appeal with some of these partnerships makes it feel like they know they're looking at the data. They're knowing who spends money, and then they're looking at a chart of like, and here's the kinds of things, here's the overlap of things that they like. I don't know, get Kill Bill because Quentin Tarantino's doing a new version of that movie. It's weird to me.
It is a little weird. For a while there, I was feeling specifically targeted. Like they knew I had fallen off of Fortnite. So they brought in Power Rangers, the Gorillas, Daft Punk, and the Simpsons just to bring me back. And
that's what I'm saying.
But this one, so the Simpsons season's only 30 days, right? So it's supposed to end November 29th, which means this would be part of the brand new, not only season, but chapter, like chapter 7, brand new. They go a year long, every chapter, however it works. But it's good that they're teasing this because there's another thing being rumored for the next chapter of this game that people are much less happy about. I noticed they haven't said anything or done anything official with that yet because she's a TERF and they don't really want to. Because she sucks, and by proxy, that sucks.
It'll create a sort of bad vibes while they have these other partnerships going on, and they don't want to deal with the firestorm.
They did find stuff in the code that K-pop Demon Hunters might not be done. If you notice, when you buy those skins, they're specifically called It's not no way. It's done. There you go. How's that?
Yeah.
But it says their name and Huntrix, so it's specifically their costume in the beginning of the movie, which means Golden is going to happen too.
Yep.
Apparently, having to do with the music portion of Fortnite, so you can play the song and and get your Golden moment in Fortnite Festival. That's a rumor as well. But congratulations to Mike Minotti to getting his car in the game. I'm sure
I'm just happy
really
for
good about
him.
that. Yeah, he's probably having a great day.
I mean, he puts so much work into maintaining his wagon whip, and I just want him to be able to see that reflected in a video game with the same amount of love and care that he gives his.
Yeah. It's speaking of, someone mentioned we haven't sealed the Han Moon yet. Somebody this is an aside to get us off on a good joke. Somebody was telling me that they saw a theory, like a conspiracy tinfoil hat theory, that the world was supposed to end in 2012, right? What song took over at the tail end of 2012? With
Despacito. I don't know.
No, with its own little dance.
Oh God. Okay, Gangnam Style. All right.
Gangnam Style. The conspiracy theory
classic.
is that by being the first billion viewer video on YouTube and taking the entire world by storm, Psy sealed the Han Moon, and the world didn't end in 2012 because of Psy.
Thank you, Psy.
Take for that what you will. I thought that was
I take it as a gospel, and Psy is my savior. I've always said this. My Cyver. Oh boy, well, we should end the show. Real quick, last story. Nintendo wants to be even more actively involved in movie making. We've talked about this a bunch, but it's just like they are basically just flat out saying it. Like, hey, we are doing all of this work with all these other companies, so we can do even more of it. They're not just licensors for their movies. They do help finance the films. They are on board as one of the production companies making everything. So they're more involved than your typical IP holder, and they expect that to sort of expand internally at Nintendo. So I'm curious to see how that grows, especially with the Nintendo Picture stuff after them doing something sort of experimental with Pikmin. What do they do next? Cool. How do they try to monetize that? Or is that even the point? Maybe not.
Maybe they do like little series or stuff like that based on their franchises.
I bet they do shorts before the Illumination movies for the next like 10 years. And by then they have something.
Did you see first trailer for Mario Galaxy movie is supposed to be in front of Wicked in 2 weeks? So that's fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing that trailer. Oh man, I should try to get out and see that Wicked movie. I should finish the first Wicked. I was enjoying it and then never finished it.
I have day one tickets already because I'm that kind of person.
Hell yeah.
There's 11 of us going.
Well, enjoy yourselves. That sounds like a party. I have the results of yesterday's poll over here. Let's grab that real quick. We asked, would you check out World of Warcraft if it ever came to console? And 34% said yes, 66% said no. I think that's a lot of people, and yet probably also not like the kind. They're maybe past the days where they would have the numbers where it's like everyone would have checked this out, and it would be this massive shift in the fate of World of Warcraft. It's like, no, this thing's chugging along just fine with the very, very large, very, very dedicated audience that it has locked down for the last 20 years.
Yeah, I was one of the yeses just out of curiosity, but I'm not, trying to play it anytime soon. I got other stuff to do.
Yep. All right, so that's the poll question. We do have the Bomb 12 to wrap up the week. We'll get to that here at the end of the show. So let's get all this other stuff out of the way. Jason Fanelli, why don't you tell people where they can find you on the internet, what you have going on, and all of that good stuff?
JasonFanelli.com on Blue Sky, Big Man Fanelli everywhere else. Did review, as I mentioned, a couple of games recently. MMORPG, Dragon Quest 1 and 2, HD 2D. Rolling Stone, I reviewed The Outer Worlds 2. That's very fun. GameSpot, I reviewed the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. That is very, very cool. Documentary stuff is awesome. Didn't expect them to get into how they were inspired by the Nordic Church song. Did you see that part?
I didn't see that. I love that.
Now the finish hymn.
Okay. All right. I see how it is. I see what we're doing. We have jokes. Oh shit.
Yeah. But no, that game, the documentary is very good. The game's very good. The input delay thing, I'm still getting my hands on. It's not great, but yeah, that was fun, and I've completely derailed anything I was going to talk about. So yeah,
it was worth it. It was totally worth it. That Legacy Collection's fantastic. I'm enjoying it. I get the props that people have. I'm watching the documentary, and it hits hard. God, man,
it really
makes
does.
me want to go to Chicago real bad. I think Chicago's my favorite city. I think it is.
Every time I'm there, I love it. Yeah.
That's so filled with awesome people. It's so international. Every block's got some amazing cuisine you weren't expecting. It's the best. And to see a studio that just is Chicago through and through, and being like, man, it's awesome that one of the biggest franchises in the video gaming world came from the Midwest. It's a little bit of a regional pride for me.
There you go.
All right, so we did that. Let's talk about what's happening on Giant Bomb today. For sure, next thing is likely UPF. I might throw a stream in there between. We'll see, though. Got lots of stuff to take care of. UPF is going to likely be age of imprisonment, but we're kind of working through some things, so we'll see exactly how it's all going to break out. In the meantime, though, I think that does it. So let's do this. Let's get to the Bomb 12, everybody. Yeah. That's right. It's the 12 games that really matter to people who are really playing video games. We had one last week. I didn't talk about it because we didn't have a show last week, but I do have those results, and I'll have that. That is in a blog post if people want to go see that. But this is for the past week, and so let's get and see here. Number 12, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment does make it in its first week. Power Wash Simulator 2 is at number 11. The Seance of Blake Manor at number 10. This game did really well in reviews, and I think it looks interesting. I'm not exactly sure what it is. Have you heard anything about the Seance of Blake Manor?
It's scratching that Blue Prince itch.
It looks, yes,
it's first-person investigative narrative. Also, Oberdeen, if you played the Oberdeen a couple years ago, kind of in that vein as well. That's the Fall of the Oberdeen. That's the full title.
Yes,
I think.
No, it's you're so close, but now you've broken my brain. It's the Return of the Oberdin.
Return. Oberdin. Is it Oberdin? I thought it was
yes.
Dean. Anyway,
it might be Dean. Yeah.
I do that all the time. But yeah, in that matter of investigation, solving mysteries, thing like that, very, very cool. Apparently, I'm very much looking forward to
that. Let's see here. Number 9 is Hollow Knight Silk Song. Number 8 is Dragon Quest 1+2 HD. Number 7, Battlefield 6. Number 6, Pokemon Legends ZA. Number 5 is Hades 2. Number 4, Ghost of Yotei. And that means our number 3 is Dispatch.
That's cool.
Really popping off. I think that game, I've been streaming it in the mornings.
Yeah.
Every time I get done, it's like, it's kind of quiet because like chat's just watching it along with me, and I'm not really reading chat all that much because I'm engaged in the story. And then when it gets done, everyone just pops off like, I think I'm getting this game. I was just going to watch, but now I'm won over. I want to experience these choices myself. I am someone who is a pretty big fan of the Telltale games. I've always said I really like any game that puts the gameplay in your head. The mechanics exist by you being sort of having to make a decision against your various impulses and being like, how do I feel about this? And I think this game really gets to that pretty quickly, although I think it is building up to some even bigger choices here pretty soon. All right, then number 2 is The Outer Worlds 2. It was really close between this and Arc Raiders, actually. I will say, people, I can spot it when you try to push a game by voting for it a bunch of times. All right, I have my ways. So Outer Worlds got a little bit of a fake bump, but not much. It was mostly authentic, and it put it at number 2, and that means number 1 is Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders really popped off this week, so congratulations to that. Not surprised. Everyone seems to be playing it. I'm enjoying it myself. All right.
I have yet to play Arc Raiders. I really got to do that.
It's worth it. I think you'll get the idea really quickly, even if it's like not necessarily your kind of game. You're like, oh, now it makes sense, sure. And I can at least maybe spend some time with it. Real quick, some super chats. Antonio Morales said, Grubb, you still need to try a Hibarito. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I don't know what it is, but I'll try it. Hey, you Peekaboo says, what is your influence regarding the shake to wake for 8-bit Do controllers on Switch? What is my influence? I just believe in magic. I don't know if that still works on Switch too. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. And that's one of the big failings of the Switch too, is I can no longer shake a controller to wake up the Switch from sleep. Antonio Morales had another one. Drinks on me when you all swing by Chicago. Oh, absolutely. We'll make that happen, Antonio, for sure. All right. If there were any other super chats, sorry, I'm missing them. I think we should get out of here, though. Jason Fanelli, thank you so much, man. It's always great to talk about video games with you here in the morning.
Always great to be here. Anytime you need me, pal.
Make it happen again, probably very soon. Thank you all for watching and listening. You are the best audience in gaming. Until next time, have a good one. Take care of yourself. And goodbye.